Wednesday, January 27th, from WCAP Studios in downtown Atlanta. This is a special edition of Good Morning Downtown with A.J. Robinson, featuring Eddie Meyers, Jennifer Ball, Wilma Sothern, Craig Jones, and special guest, Donna Hall.
Good morning, downtown. I'm A.J. Robinson, and welcome to the show. It's our annual meeting like you've never seen it before. Informative, entertaining, and on screens big and small. Normally, this event is an opportunity for us to gather in an iconic downtown venue and celebrate the year that has passed and share plans for the one that's ahead. While we can't be together in person, we're so glad you've tuned in. 2021 marks CAP's 80th anniversary, and we couldn't pass up the opportunity to make this virtual event as special as possible. Thank you to all of our generous sponsors for helping us to pull this off. It's an incredibly challenging time on so many levels for our city, our state, and our country. The past few weeks have been some of the most difficult in our collective battle against the coronavirus. And yet it's so inspiring to see frontline workers and at-risk populations beginning to receive the vaccine. So let's all commit to doing our part to stop the spread. After hosting 20 CAP virtual member briefings last year, I got pretty relaxed at going on camera and having discussions with community leaders from different sectors of Atlanta and beyond. And if you know me, you know I've worn many hats at annual meetings over the years. So I'm excited to wear this year's hat and call myself the Anchorman. By the way, this hat is a 1940s fedora, which is what CAP's founding members likely wore when they began our organization 80 years ago in 1941. Alongside my co-anchors and field reporters, we will cover the traditions you know best, celebrating CAP's new leadership and our annual award recipients, as well as our segments that dive into our work and explore the trends that will impact downtown in 2021. But first, we have invited some special guests to share a few words of welcome. Let's hear from them now.
Hello, this is Governor Brian Kemp. Since 1941, Central Atlanta Progress has helped champion a vibrant community with strong leadership and sustainable infrastructure that is both livable and economically viable. Under the leadership of President A.J. Robinson and the Board of Directors, CAP has become a vital part of the success of downtown Atlanta. Through civic planning efforts and development events, difficult problems are being tackled within our state's capital city. Even through a global pandemic, CAP continues to take on opportunities to ensure Atlanta's best days lie ahead. But in this critical time, we all have a part to play in securing a safe and healthy future for all Georgians. Let's keep wearing our masks, practicing social distancing, and following the guidance of our public health officials. Thank you, and God bless.
Good morning. I'm Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, and welcome to this special annual meeting of Central Atlanta Progress. Congratulations to the Board of Directors, President A.J. Robinson, and the entire team on your 80th anniversary. 8 decades of service and commitment to helping keep downtown Atlanta clean, beautiful, safe, and vibrant for our residents and visitors is no small feat. I'm thankful for the productive relationship that we have with Central Atlanta Progress, as it has been helpful in strengthening our urban center, the heartbeat of our city. 2020 was a challenging year for us all, but we know that we are stronger together. With the new year upon us, I'm confident that there's light at the end of this tunnel, and hope and pray that we will be able to enjoy in person all of the magic that makes Atlanta so very special, hopefully very soon. Thank you again for all that you do. And again, congratulations on 80 amazing years.
Thanks to each of you for sharing those messages with us. And now it's time for our first segment entitled, Where Are They Now? With my co-anchor, Eddie Meyers, who has served as chairman of CAP since 2019. Eddie?
Thanks, AJ, and good morning, downtown. What a year it's been. While 2020 presented Atlanta with unprecedented challenges, CAP did what it's done best for the past 80 years. We convened and we acted. The support of our members has never mattered more. And we are so grateful for them for the collective belief in our mission, eagerness to help us maintain our momentum. Stay tuned for an in-depth look later in the show, just a few of the things that we were able to accomplish this past year. My time as chairman of CAP is coming to a close, but don't worry, I still plan to have a seat at the table. There's much work left to be done, especially as we look ahead to downtown's recovery. So stick with us. We need our courageous leaders and community members. And now, on to our segment that explores key Atlanta figures. Where are they now? Today's spotlight is someone you likely recognize, though you probably haven't seen her in a few months, since she relocated to Portugal. Yeah, Portugal. I'm referring to Alicia Philipp, who recently retired from the Community Foundation of Greater Atlanta after 43 years of tremendous service. She's now enjoying a well-earned break, but that won't stop us from taking a moment to celebrate her and her incredible legacy. CAP created the Dan and Tally Sweat Award over 20 years ago to honor those who embody some of the former leaders' remarkable traits: leadership, forward-thinking public service, and humanity of spirit. No one is more deserving of this award than Alicia. Let's turn to Tally Sweat to hear more.
This is Tally Sweat, and it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the Dan and Tally Sweat Award presentation, which is being made this year to one of my very favorite people, Alicia Philipp, retired president of the Community Foundation of Greater Atlanta. Please join us now to hear everything you ever wanted to know about Alicia. Thank you.
Alicia reminds me a lot of Dan and Tally Sweat, especially Dan. And I find that she is in the tradition of Dan Sweat, someone who believes that you can't wait for someone else to do something. It's your turn to step up when you hear of a need.
I've known Alicia for 40-something years. She's intense, she's focused, she has a big old heart. She is loyal, beyond loyal. The other thing I would say is she's fiercely competitive.
The words that I would use for Alicia, of course, we've all heard, I'm sure, the word competitive. But what's important to know with Alicia, competitive has always been a win-win competition. It has never been a win-lose. She has always been somebody who has had her eyes wide open and with an honesty really looked at the challenges of our community and had the courage to speak out about those.
She has been not just a champion of causes, not just a champion of giving, but a champion of bringing people together. It's about making an idea be about others and what others can contribute to it.
What I admire about Alicia is that she has built, over the 43 years she was here, an institution, a civic institution that's part of the fabric of Atlanta, and started this back in the late 70s as a woman in a space that wasn't necessarily very hospitable to women, and built it into one of the largest community foundations in the country.
She was always, a big proponent of women's rights and women in the workplace. Over the years, she did help other mothers be able to have childcare at work.
Alicia's contribution to downtown spans more than her 43 years as the head of the Community Foundation. Using those resources and specifically working on issues that were downtown related, like HIV, AIDS, women's issues, LGBTQ issues, the homeless issues, community issues, have all been the fulcrum from which those solutions have spread through the region.
Alicia's legacy will be both systemic, institutional, and it'll also be very personal. It'll be systemic and institutional in that There are many things started largely with Alicia's leadership, but more importantly, connecting donors to real issues in community. So she personalized philanthropy for a lot of people. And I think that and a number of the institutional things that she has helped us set in motion are part of her legacy.
A young woman with relatively limited experience can build a dynamic, sustainable organization, a legacy that will last for generations and generations.
My dear friend Alicia, I offer you not just congratulations, but so much gratitude for your being the spitting image of Dan Sweat in our community for all these more than 43 years.
Alicia, you know how much I love you as a dear friend. You know how much I respect you as a colleague and admire all that you've done for this community. And I'm so glad that you're getting this award.
Dan Sweat would be so proud of you if he were alive to see this award, and he would think it was so fitting that one of his mentees grew up to be one of the most impactful leaders in this community. And I say congratulations to you. Thank you for all you've done.
So what I'd love to say to Alicia is thank you. I know I have big shoes to fill, but I appreciate the organization you've built.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of your legacy at the foundation, what you've done for our community, for so many of us. But mainly, I'm so grateful for your friendship.
Hi, Alicia. I'm so happy for you. So proud of your accomplishments, and I'm proud to know you. We move through life and we meet all kinds of people, and rarely are there people who make an indelible difference, but you have been a great champion to me, to the Georgia Center for Nonprofits, which I lead, and you created, and to legions of people out there. And I just wanted to say thank you, and I love you.
Alicia, Atlanta loves you, and you love Atlanta. Thank you for all that you've done, and congratulations on this award.
I would venture to Tally. Sorry. I would venture to say she's never met.
I know her.
Oh, now.
Right. Sorry. Turn it off.
Well, I would if I knew how.
Okay, whatever.
Alicia, congratulations. It couldn't happen to a better person, and I'm thrilled for you. The whole Sweat family is. Charles and Steve and all of the others send their love, and we are just thrilled.
Alicia, it's a full circle moment, and I am so proud and pleased that you are the recipient of this award. That means so much to our family.
Here in this 21st year of the Dan and Tally Sweat Award, it gives me great pleasure to introduce you to Alicia Philipp.
Thank you, Tally, Sally, CAP, AJ, and the whole board. This is such an honor to receive the Dan and Tally Sweat Award. It's incredibly meaningful to me as a capstone on my career. To start and end with the Sweats and CAP is really quite amazing. I started as a CETA employee at Central Atlanta Progress, and CETA was a program for the hardcore unemployed. In 1975, when I graduated from Emory, there were no jobs to be had. And Dan's mentoring, encouragement, advocacy, sponsorship, and much more enabled me to achieve any success that I had. And as a bonus, I got the whole Sweat family. As you can see, Tally and Sally are truly part of my extended family. And CAP2 has played a pivotal role in my career. Starting there, working on neighborhood revitalization. Interestingly enough, in the 70s, we were trying to encourage people to move into in-town neighborhoods. And then moving on many years later as a board member for quite some time. Downtown is the heart of the region, and CAP and its leadership has always kept it strong. Thank you for this significant honor.
Congratulations, Alicia, and please send us a postcard when you get a chance. AJ, have you ever been to Portugal?
Actually, Eddie,
Sorry, AJ, I'm getting some breaking news. Looks like CAP has chosen a new board chair. After completing his 2-year term as board chair, Eddie Meyers is to be succeeded by Donna Hall, publisher of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Donna is a veteran of the news industry for 3 decades, previously spending the majority of her career with Cox Media. This is great news for our organization. Cox Enterprise is a legacy supporter of CAP, and I am thrilled to pass on the baton to Donna. It's been a pleasure to serve in this role for the last 2 years, but I have to admit, I'm pretty excited to take a break and enjoy my Atlanta downtown cufflinks and cigars the CAP team have given me as a parting gift. And my parting gift to you, Donna, is to set up the official installation of the 2021 CAP leadership so you can hit the ground running. In keeping with tradition, the outgoing chair now calls our governance meeting to order.
Thank you, Eddie. I am honored and excited to step into this new role with Central Atlanta Progress, where I've already been warmly welcomed by AJ and his team. When I spoke at a CAP member briefing in April of last year, I reflected on the remarkable silence and stillness the city experienced at the beginning of the pandemic and the responsibility we felt as an organization to serve our community. Despite the challenges we were facing, we had an opportunity to demonstrate the importance of our mission, to press on and pursue the truth and keep our community informed. And in a way, that's exactly what CAP has done as well this past year with weekly briefings. I think we can all agree that these member briefings were vital to keep us collectively informed as leaders in the community. I want to thank Wilma and her team for putting them together, and I look forward to more of these important conversations with each other. It's an honor for me to represent and lead the AJC. And it's very much an honor for me to now represent and help lead Central Atlanta Progress, especially at this time. I think of the name of the organization, Central Atlanta Progress, a word that itself means to move forward. That's exactly what we must do as Atlanta reshapes, recovers, and reinvents itself. As chair, it's now my responsibility to recognize the installation of the CAP Nominating Committee's proposed Board of Directors and Executive Committee for 2021, as outlined in your board slate and your digital event program. Thank you to the Nominating Committee for helping us shape this year's exceptional leadership roster, which is comprised of representatives from backgrounds as diverse as the Atlanta community. It includes nonprofits, hotels, law firms, real estate, and venues and attractions. In 2021, this board will continue to amplify CAP's message, provide invaluable advice, and help the organization build consensus in the community regarding critical projects. Congratulations to each of you. Your commitment to our organization is integral to Atlanta's success, and we're grateful for your support. And now, it's time to present the Marcus Downtown Economic Impact Award, which recognizes a person or institution that has stimulated downtown's economy in a powerful way. With more on this award, let's toss it to Bernie Marcus.
Good morning, everyone. I'm happy to begin this morning's presentation of the Marcus Downtown Economic Impact Award. This award was created to recognize individuals, companies that strengthen and advance our community. To the entire State Farm Arena, the Atlanta Hawks, to Tony Ressler, you and your gang, especially Steve Koonin, and all their associates, congratulations on this well-deserved award. You guys really deserve it. It's terrific, and I welcome you to the award.
Under the leadership of principal owners Tony Ressler and Jamie Gertz since 2015, the Atlanta Hawks and State Farm Arena continue to raise their game. Ressler and Gertz committed to transforming downtown and making an impact throughout the city of Atlanta. In October of 2018, the Hawks completed the second largest renovation in NBA history, transforming State Farm Arena into a next-generation venue focused on experience, service, and entertainment. The Hawks and State Farm Arena's commitment to Atlanta goes far beyond its building and its operations. When the COVID-19 pandemic began, the Hawks partnered with the surrounding community, as well as organizations like Gupta, to help mitigate food insecurity. The partnership resulted in 220,000 pounds of food donated to nearly 6,000 households and over 1,000 senior citizens, totaling 27,000 meals. The Atlanta Hawks also partnered with Fulton County to transform State Farm Arena into Georgia's largest ever voting precinct for the August runoff elections, November general elections, and January runoff elections.
Steve Coonan and I have been have been friends for some time. I had no idea that the impact that 1 minute telephone call would have with respect to its impact on the election here, because as a direct result of our partnership with the Atlanta Hawks and State Farm Arena, other NBA teams saw what we were doing or read about it. They began to get involved and they became excited about it, and in fact wanted to duplicate what we had done here in Fulton County, Georgia.
And the Ressler Gertz Family Foundation, in partnership with the Atlanta Hawks, is committed to a long-term comprehensive plan to provide financial, marketing, and educational resources to Black-owned businesses and entrepreneurs by contributing $5 million to the Herman J. Russell Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship.
There are two ways that you can look at impact. There's the actual thing that's contributed, the money, the time, the resources. But we cannot discount when they hear that a billionaire is taking interest in my business, a sports franchise is investing in my community. And I think the Hawks organization is very steadily moving towards transformational change, and that's very powerful.
As the vaccine becomes more readily available, State Farm Arena is working diligently to reopen safely for its fans. State Farm Arena is the first sports and entertainment venue in the country to successfully become ShareCare Health Security verified, addressing the critical need to establish confidence in the age of COVID-19 and beyond. On the court and throughout the community, State Farm Arena and the Atlanta Hawks are proving that being true to Atlanta is more than a mantra.
Mr. Ressler, you're the man.
We really appreciate you guys. Congratulations and thank you again.
Well, thank you, Central Atlanta Progress, for this special recognition. In such a challenging year marked by really a global pandemic that has taken hundreds of thousands of lives nationally and thousands in Metro Atlanta, a shutdown of the US economy, a widespread racial, social justice, and economic inequality reckoning, and a critically important election year when the ability to safely and efficiently exercise the most fundamental civic right, that is to vote, was under tremendous pressure. I'm much more comfortable discussing two key values of mine: to recognize the great achievements come through working as a team, not as an individual, and that actions are the measure of one's values. I accept this award with great humility, especially given who the past recipients have been. Such iconic Atlanta leaders as Ted Turner, a global corporate leader like Coca-Cola, and downtown anchors, including the Aquarium, Centennial Olympic Park, and Grady Hospital, which has been so critical during the COVID-19 pandemic. As a franchise, the Atlanta Hawks and I are proud of demonstrating the value of a public-private partnership, with working together to create the model used across America by having our facility serve as a safe, efficient voting center. We'd also like to recognize our friends at the Falcons for joining us in this effort for the January runoff election. I want to point out how important our work is with the Russell Center as well, where we're investing in making downtown Atlanta a true hub of entrepreneurship by providing expertise, mentorship, and access to capital to people of color, something that continues to be a real national issue. And lastly, dozens of local investors and I are putting our capital to work at Centennial Yards. As I stated more than 5 years ago when we purchased the Atlanta Hawks, Atlanta is a great global city, and all global cities must have a vibrant downtown. This means thousands of jobs, permanent jobs, and a vibrancy that will enhance our neighborhood and the entire region. Atlanta is a hub for entertainment and business travel, and a more connected and modern downtown will help ensure our justified title as the capital of the Southeast and a truly modern global city where economic opportunity is a top priority. So I accept this award on behalf of all the people working and living downtown, which is poised for taking its next great step forward through partnerships among the private sector and the public sector. As an Atlanta resident for a few years now, I couldn't be more excited about where we're headed downtown and beyond. Thank you so much.
Congratulations again to Tony Ressler, Steve Koonin, and everyone at State Farm Arena and the Atlanta Hawks. And welcome to the team, Donna. In the world of urban place management, the word resilience is perhaps overused, but it's hard to think of a more fitting term when we reflect on all that's happened in 2020. Urban cores have always been the physical and spiritual souls of major cities, and Atlanta's downtown is no exception. I'm deeply proud of the way the CAP team responded this year in the face of COVID-19 in a very, very short period of time. We helped to protect the vulnerable, supported our healthcare workers, curated an ambitious series of topical webinars, and kept working to advance all the other stuff that we normally do. Here with a closer look at some of our most visible accomplishments of the last year is our very own Wilma Sothern. Take it away, Wilma.
Thanks, AJ. Reporting from the field today. Had an opportunity to walk around with a few of our fellow CAP and ADID staff members to learn more about some of the great projects that they were able to advance in 2020. So I'm out here in front of Peachtree Center with Fredalyn Frasier, who's been heading up our Arts and Entertainment Atlanta effort. Fred, let's talk about what you were able to accomplish last year with this great program.
Wilma, it was just a phenomenal year despite the challenges that we faced in terms of being in the midst of a pandemic as well as the social justice movement. We were able to really dive in and lean into those efforts and pivot and use information up on our signs to really aid the community. So it was really a unique opportunity. Although it wasn't our original program, the platform that we have with A&E allows us to really be flexible, and that's what we were able to do in 2020.
That is so great to hear. I know that the signs have been very popular. People are really taking notice. Can you talk about how this idea for Arts and Entertainment Atlanta came about? Maybe just give us a little background.
Certainly. So Arts and Entertainment is really a partnership. It's a partnership with the city because City Council was the group that actually endorsed this program and approved it back in 2017. And then since then, we've been working to implement it. So 2020 was really our first year of programming. But the whole idea behind Arts and Entertainment is really infusing arts and culture in the downtown core. And how can we elevate and support our local artists? That is the primary goal, and it's accomplished through partnerships with our media partners, through revenue sharing, as well as partnerships with local artists.
That is fantastic. I know that you were able to activate some really impressive programs in Woodruff Park. Can you tell us a little bit about the latest activation?
Well, Woodruff Park is really an exciting project, and we have what we call projection mapping. If anyone has seen Denver and their clock tower projection, that's exactly what we did this year as part of PRISM. And Arts and Entertainment has always supported PRISM and the art installations in the park, but this year we actually expanded and have a projection mapping installation in the park. It's quite wonderful, and it's just our pilot, and we'll see where we go from there. But the goal is to actually have a permanent location somewhere downtown in the future.
Fantastic. That is very exciting to hear. How many sites do you currently have activated with signs at this point?
Well, in 2020, we were able to activate 6 locations. We already had 2. So right now, as we stand here today, we have 8 locations activated.
Oh, that sounds so very exciting. We cannot wait to see what you have in store for us in the coming year. Any last comments you'd like to share?
Well, we are really looking forward to 2021 and supporting and elevating art downtown and supporting our local artists. That is our primary goal, and we look forward to elevating them in 2021.
Now I'm in Woodruff Park with my colleague Tammy Hughes, who is the head of ADID's Social Impact Program. Can you tell us a little bit about the work that you've been doing
Sure. So 2019 and the outbreak of the pandemic really affected every population, and that includes the vulnerable population. And so we stood up this outreach team called ASSIST, which stands for the Atlanta Downtown Social Impact Safety Team. And we do homeless outreach directly to those who are unsheltered on the street. We act as a conduit to connect them with the services that they need for their basic food, shelter, and clothing. And we are able to provide them with the shelter immediately to get them off the street. We have been able to engage over 900 individuals who were experiencing street homelessness, and that was at December 31st, 2020. We're continuing, and in that number, we were able to move into shelter over 350 men, women, and children.
What do you have to say to the community? I mean, you know, we often get calls from people who want to know, what can I do to help, or how can I assist the ASSIST team?
One of the things I like to encourage people to do, one, if you encounter a person who is experiencing homelessness, I know our tendency is to be charitable, but what we don't want is for a person experiencing homelessness to rely on individual acts of charity. So for a concerned community member or concerned business owner, contact us, reach out to me and say, hey, I continually see the homeless person at this location. Would you guys go reach out to them? And we will come and we will assist. We'll also do everything that we can do to interrupt the homelessness, because that's probably the most charitable thing that can be done, not a one-off effort, though I understand why people do that, but we can do more together. So my advice is always give us a call and find out how you can join a collaborative effort as opposed to an individual effort.
Thank you so much for your time today, Tammy, and congratulations on the success you've had with your program. So here I am on Auburn Avenue in the rain, meeting up with my colleague Wesley Brown, who recently completed a really impactful project on Auburn Avenue. We're standing here in front of a mural that is part of a broader effort that Wesley's going to tell us about. Wesley?
Yeah, so this project is the Auburn Avenue History and Culture Project that was brought to you by the Georgia Department of Transportation and the Atlanta Downtown Improvement District. We partnered with the City of Atlanta's Department of Transportation to deliver 25 new signs on Auburn Avenue and a very expansive mural.
So you have a number of signs, there's a mural. Do you want to talk about these really impressive light boxes that are up here and tell us what they represent?
Yeah, so the mural behind us is a series of imagery that occurred on Auburn Avenue, scenes that occurred on Auburn Avenue over time, and the light boxes overhead highlight the names of institutions, and we've got a couple newspapers, churches, banks, the foundation, the building blocks of the industry that existed on Auburn Avenue.
Fantastic. So tell me a little bit more about each of the components of the project.
So there are two different sign types. There is the larger gateway sign, which actually spans about 25 feet into the air. There's 4 of those along the corridor, and then there are the 21 cultural signs that just give the history of institutions and people and activities that occurred historically on Auburn Avenue.
Well, Wesley, that all sounds really great. Can you tell us what else is on the horizon for 2021?
Yeah, we're really drilling into some of the project-specific elements of our master plan. The master plan was completed a couple of years ago, and now we're really focusing on looking at how we can get those projects done on a block-by-block basis. Every stakeholder and constituent, and the timing of projects is really critical in lining up funding and support. And so we now have that time to be able to do that.
Sounds like a lot of work, but I'm sure you can get it done. Thanks, Wesley. AJ, back to you.
Well done, team. You've accomplished a lot during a very difficult time. One of the most frequent questions I get asked is, AJ, what's going on downtown? Is downtown surviving? What's coming next? To spotlight the developments and real estate efforts making headlines, I've invited our own Jennifer Ball to lead a segment called New in Town. You're on, Jennifer.
Thanks, AJ. This morning, I'll be sharing an update on downtown development activity that made headlines or is on the horizon. In 2020, downtown experienced $285 million worth of real estate development investment, bringing investment over the past decade to an impressive total of over $4.7 billion. Last year, the 335-unit Generation Atlanta Apartments opened to new downtown residents, and the David T. Howard Middle School renovation project was completed. And just last month, we celebrated the opening of the 195-room Reverb Hotel by Hard Rock. This is in addition to 25,000 square feet of repurposed creative office space in the 100-year-old Regenstein's department store building right in the literal center of downtown. And a project that really made a splash was the exciting expansion at Georgia Aquarium, adding 1.2 million gallons of salt water to house their new state-of-the-art shark and marine predator exhibit. What arguably made the most headlines, though, were announcements of new ownership of two key downtown development sites, the former United Methodist Center and Underground Atlanta. These sites represent tremendous potential for the district, and we're excited about their futures. Looking ahead, there are $1.6 billion worth of real estate projects under construction, including Emory's Winship Cancer Institute and Georgia State University's new Convocation Center. Both broke ground in 2020. And yet another $7 billion worth of additional projects are planned or are in the pipeline. In 2021, we're anticipating the reopening of the newly renovated Atlanta Fulton County Central Library, 300,000 square feet of reimagined office space at 100 Edgewood, and even more downtown residents, thanks to the opening of Ascent Peachtree Center. This is all in addition to the progress in South Downtown, where renovations are underway at Newport's Hotel Row and 222 Mitchell, as well as the first phase of Centennial Yards, led by CIM and Stream Realty. The pandemic has greatly affected downtown, and recovery will be a priority for the community and our organization in 2021 and beyond. We are encouraged by the momentum of these and other projects that are helping bring vibrancy and vitality to the heart of Atlanta. Back to you, AJ.
Thanks, Jennifer. We certainly have a lot to look forward to. And now let's turn to Craig Jones, my good friend and chairman of the Atlanta Downtown Improvement District Board, for a special report and a spotlight of just a few of our hometown heroes.
In 2020, our community faced the crises of a global pandemic, an economic downturn, systemic racial inequities, and a disruption of daily routines and traditions. Among them were conventions, sporting events, concerts, and festivals, the very activities that infuse downtown with energy and purpose. So whether it's a normal year or a year like this past one that presents us with no shortage of challenges, ADID staff and mission are always resolute. When citizens were required to shelter in place, the Ambassador Force and Clean Team continue their operations as essential workers. They also ensured that downtown was a safe environment for community members to exercise their rights of free speech and assembly, as well as for businesses to continue their operations. We found ways to leverage major ADID projects to respond to the demands of this special year. Arts and Entertainment Atlanta supported local artists via grants, the digital InLight exhibit, and the curation of community public service announcements, such as messages on COVID-19 testing, and also for solidarity and racial justice. All of that to say, we've remained busier than ever in caring for downtown. And there are a few individuals who should be recognized for their outstanding work to keep our community safe, clean, and vital during such a challenging year. Now, the Ambassador of the Year is Lauren Coleman, a native Atlantan who's been an ambassador and field training officer for 16 years with a strong commitment to customer service. The Outstanding Clean Team Member of the Year is Eric Ponder, who's also a native Atlantan. Eric has been with ADID for 2 years, and he takes pride in his work as a service vehicle operator. Through a long-standing partnership with the Atlanta Police Department's Zone 5 team, ADID recognizes the exceptional work of Quality of Life Officer Jamie Wallace. Originally from Detroit, Michigan, Officer Wallace has been on the force for over 10 years, and she loves that her job allows her to help people on a daily basis. Now, we owe our thanks to these individuals for their exceptional service. They are our true hometown heroes.
Good morning. It's my pleasure to introduce this morning's presentation of the Warner Media Downtown Community Leadership Award. Established in 2003, this award identifies and celebrates those who embody the true meaning of perseverance, continually working to make downtown a better place for all by means both large and small. While these award winners may not appear on the traditional radars of the corporate leadership world, their courage and commitment to serve are especially worthy of recognition. This year, Warner Media and Central Atlanta Progress are pleased to present the Community Leadership Award to Downtown Atlanta's healthcare workers. We've invited one of our renowned healthcare experts, CNN's Dr. Sanjay Gupta, to help us pay tribute to Downtown Atlanta's healthcare workers.
Lisa, thank you very much, and good morning to all of you. First and foremost, let me say this. I am a proud resident of Atlanta. I live here with my family. We've been here for some time. My 3 girls go to school here. I practice neurosurgery at Emory and Grady, and also work as the chief medical correspondent for CNN. In my career, I've never covered a story of this magnitude, of the magnitude of this coronavirus pandemic. As we now find all of ourselves in the third and highest peak of this virus, the outlook is sadly grim. That's just the truth. But I do have to say, miraculously, just 11 months after the first case was reported in the United States, we authorized as a country not 1 but 2 vaccines, which is a real triumph of science, a triumph for humanity, something we're celebrating. We're only going to end this, though, if we remember to do the basics, to wear a mask, wash our hands, keep distance, keep kind, and also get vaccinated. So I hope you'll join me in doing these things to protect those around us, those we love, including our healthcare workers. Day after day, week after week, these professionals have guided us through one of the most difficult years in recent history, and they continue to guide us now in what is the darkest moment yet in this pandemic. It is really my honor, my pleasure, to participate in this tribute to the healthcare workers who serve the downtown Atlanta community. Thank you. They are the recipients of this year's Warner Media Community Leadership Award. And really, we can think of no one more deserving of this honor.
When the world changed in what felt like an instant, when the threat was invisible and everywhere, you responded. When those we love are vulnerable and we need expert guidance, you kept us safe. With supplies low and demand high, with lines long and beds few, when we need care and courage, you help us heal. Shift after shift, month after month, beside us in the darkest moments. Bravely holding us together, you redefine the word hero.
Thank you, Craig and Lisa, and thank you to all who have worked to keep us safe and healthy this year. Let's all pledge to continue doing our part out of the gratitude for these heroes. It's hard to believe the first month of 2021 is nearly over. In the wake of so many changes and challenges, I invited a few special guests to join me in the studio to discuss the trends and topics we anticipate will affect downtown this year. Now here's Perspectives. Welcome, Dr. Paxton, and thank you so much for being here this morning in the middle of this crisis. I know you have to be the hardest working person in Fulton County, if not in the whole state of Georgia. First of all, just tell us, how are you doing?
Oh, well, I'm doing fine. And first of all, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to talk to your group. I'm doing well on certain aspects. I'm elated, as is most of the public health world, the fact that we now have 2 very effective vaccines against COVID. So that makes all of us extremely happy. I am tired because it is a monumental effort to get that vaccine out of the vials and into people's arms. And so that I think is probably, I'm a mixture of elated versus tired.
And what is the real focus at the moment, right here as the vaccine becomes available? What's your team really focusing on?
Well, we, like all the other districts in Georgia, are focusing on priority populations. And there are a number of them, and starting with healthcare workers and people in long-term care facilities and now people over 65, and progressing through all of the other tiers. And anyone can go on to like the Fulton County website or the Department of Public Health website, and they can see what the actual plan is for vaccinating all the population. And so I've encouraged you to do that. So our task is to actually operationalize that. So we are working on mass vaccination drives. We are working on going out into the community with mobile units to eventually to vaccinate people. And so that is our task. Our task is to take what you see on the page and actually operationalize it.
And what is the best way the community can help you in the battle against COVID-19?
Well, the community can help us and themselves by remembering that they still need to do all the things to prevent COVID that we have been advocating for the past year. And that is namely to wear a mask whenever you're out in public, to maintain your social distance, to wash your hands. And now with the addition of vaccine now entering into the equation, we are encouraging everyone to get vaccinated when their turn comes up, because that is how we will eventually achieve what we call herd immunity, in terms of enough people having some immunity to COVID that it will die out. So that is those are the things that the community can do to protect themselves and to protect everyone else.
So you and your team had an incredibly challenging year last year, and we're grateful for all the hard work. And yet here again, 2021 is going to be just as challenging. What should we expect in the weeks and months ahead as the vaccine becomes hopefully more available?
Well, unfortunately, we can still continue. We will still expect to be seeing rising cases and deaths in the coming weeks to months as a result of what we knew would happen over the holidays, with people congregating and traveling and the like. So that's an unfortunate given. But what we are hoping is that after that, we're also rolling out the vaccinations, and we're hoping that with the vaccinations, that will start to help control the continued transmission of COVID.
Well, thank you so much for being with us. You're a great warrior for our community, and we're really grateful for all that you and your team are doing.
Thank you. Thanks very much for having me.
We're now joined by Council President Felicia Moore. Felicia, welcome. We appreciate you being here. and for your service. And what can you tell us about the current state of affairs at City Hall? It's been an interesting year, a lot of different ways of getting work done. How are things?
Well, thank you for having me, first of all. And of course, the things that are going on at City Hall are going on across our country right now, and COVID is ruling the day. We are certainly trying to deal with all of the things that I think have happened since COVID. And one is the operation of city government, making sure that we're continuing to provide services to citizens. Even though our physical building is closed, City Council's been meeting remotely, and so we're continuing those things. Public safety has become a major issue during COVID, and that is going to be a top priority in 2021. We're certainly looking at how we're going to be dealing with people who are having evictions and trying to starve that off, trying to keep our businesses open, particularly small businesses. So most of the things that we're dealing with right now are under this umbrella of COVID.
So Felicia, you mentioned a lot of issues, and public safety obviously is on everybody's mind. As we move into 2021 and put all the national stuff perhaps a little bit in the rearview mirror, of course it's an election year, and what do you think will be the issues that define campaign for city council folks, for the mayor's race? What do you think are going to be the defining issues besides public safety?
Well, besides public safety, particularly since of COVID, you know, the financial and fiscal stability of our city is going to be important for us to be looking at, and making sure we're still able to provide those services. How are we going to be able to function and provide better services to our city? Many things have kind of gotten neglected or left on the side burner because we've been dealing with the emerging issues of public safety. So I think citizens are going to want to know, how are we going to provide those services? How are we going to get back operating to the efficiency that we had and better? And are we going to be able to have the funds to be able to fund those operations and not put an additional burden on our taxes and sales taxes and other things that we bring in for revenue?
Felicia, what advice would you have to our business community that has, particularly in downtown, that's been hit pretty hard by COVID, the hospitality industry, anyone related to gathering of people?
I'm just going to encourage them to, one, continue to work with the groups and organizations that you have, and please make sure you share that with council as well as the mayor's office so that we understand how we can better serve you. I'm telling you, I don't know all of the day-to-day things that you try to do in reaching out to City Hall unless you make us aware of that. And we will continue to keep you top of mind in the business community because we need you to be prosperous so our city can be prosperous.
Felicia, thanks for being here. Thanks for your many years of service to our city, and we look forward to working with you in 2021.
Thank you.
Joining us now is Jill Savitt, CEO of the Center for Civil and Human Rights. Jill, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Hey, AJ, thanks for having me.
So 2020 represented a real inflection point for the battle of racial justice and equity. How did the center rise to meet this challenge?
Yeah, so the first issue was COVID itself, particularly the disparate impact on people of color communities. And so when COVID hit and we shut down, that was our immediate task, was to talk about that, about the impact of the pandemic on all kinds of rights issues. Of course, shortly thereafter, the movement for Black Lives really erupted in full, and we saw so many protests out in the street and people frustrated and angry about the treatment of African Americans' civil rights. And so then we shifted gears and started to address those issues. And we, in all of this, decided to launch a campaign for equal dignity, which was taking our programming that we do typically at our building at the center and take it all online. And so we did weekly shows with experts and activists, and we interviewed them about the range of civil and human rights issues of the pandemic and the movement for Black Lives. We also had actions that people could take. ways big and small that they could get involved and be a part of progress and change.
So you mentioned engaging the community. Are there specific things that you could point to about how how the community can engage with you and really vice versa?
So we launched a diversity, equity, and inclusion training program for workplaces. And we piloted the program with some nonprofits, with some companies, with some schools, and we facilitated tough conversations for people about race, about justice, about systemic racism. And so now that program has piloted, we have tweaked it and evaluated it, and it's ready to go for 2021. We also developed a program to talk to law enforcement, a human rights training program for police departments. And again, we built it over the summer, and then we launched it in the fall, bringing several groups from Atlanta Police Department through. And now we're ready to go in 2021 to launch this program more widely. And it's a training about how police can be more responsive to the communities they serve and to understand the historical context of policing, particularly in the Black community, and from the era that our museum teaches about, the civil rights era, what that dynamic has been like then, why it's like that today, and how people could move forward in a different way.
So Jill, it's 2021. You've mentioned some fantastic programs. Is there anything else that the center is planning in this upcoming year to just meet the challenges that we're going through?
So we have these new programs, and we're going to continue those and expand those. The law enforcement program, we are now rolling out to making it available to police departments across the country, and we've had our first sign-ups. In Ohio, some police departments are signing up for this program, and we're in discussions with other cities. So that's very exciting that this Atlanta institution that's rooted in the history here is able to tell this story widely. Because what's important is moving forward in a different way. And what we teach at the center is how people can tap their own power to change the world around them. And we offer that advice in the museum and on our website. And I would say in this moment, it is really important for people to promote and protect human rights as the basis for trying to make America a more perfect union, which is really our goal. And so our doors are open, we're operating, and we invite everybody to come.
Thank you, Jill. It's just fantastic work, and we're grateful for you and your team and all you're doing, going to do this year, and we appreciate you being with us this morning.
Thanks, AJ.
We now have with us LeJuano Varnell, Executive Director of Sweet Auburn Works. LeJuano, tell us what's going on in your neighborhood.
Gosh, AJ, it's been one of those years. You know, we're coming up on the first full year since the lockdown, and we've experienced everything that I think the rest of the nation, the rest of the world has experienced in Sweet Auburn. We've had this pandemic really affect people in a very personal way. So again, the operators that are struggling to remain open, they're fighting through so much uncertainty, so much change, trying to solve problems in real time. And who knows if those problems are going to actually add to your bottom line. So it's been an interesting year to test one's mettle and to see how well they really compete at what we do every day.
Give us a sense of what some of your priorities are in terms of programming and what actually took place in Sweet Auburn Works this past year.
Right, so I'll begin by saying, first and foremost, Sweet Auburn Works is a preservation-based economic development organization. In doing that, what we've prioritized over the past year is making sure that when visitors and residents and business owners are in Sweet Auburn, they just enjoy the experience. So we have a public experience initiative that is one of the cornerstones of the work we do every day. Public experience to us means, how beautiful is the landscape when you're in a neighborhood? Are the streets clean? Are the sidewalks safe? Do you feel safe when you walk? Is it well lit? We're also looking to do things like create some placemaking initiatives that give folks opportunities just to enjoy being outside, enjoy seeing some public art, and enjoy just interacting with the streetscape in Sweet Auburn, and make sure that you enjoy your time here when you come and visit us.
So LeJuano, the calendar's changed, and of course it's 2021. What can you tell our audience about what to expect in Sweet Auburn Works in the coming year?
We have a full slate of new real estate investment coming to the neighborhood that's inclusive of retail, of hotel, of residents, both low-income housing and a bit of luxury. The ethos of the neighborhood is that everyone's welcome and should enjoy themselves in Sweet Auburn, and our development community follows that ethos as well. So there's a lot coming. We're excited about it, but who knows if 2021 will bring all the things that are in the pipeline to bear. It feels like we've turned a corner. But AJ, there's no telling what headwinds are happening in the first, second, third quarter of this year. But we stay resilient, we stay strong, and we stay optimistic.
Fantastic, and you have a lot going on, and we partner with you as best we can, and we look forward to a prosperous Sweet Auburn in 2021. Thanks for being with us here today. Well, folks, we've reached the end of our time together. From all of us at CAP and ADID, we extend our heartfelt gratitude for your support of our mission and work. It truly is what keeps us going. The images from the past year that will stay with me forever, and likely ones that will stay with you too. Healthcare workers at Grady leaning on the side of the hospital, getting a few moments of rest. Crowds marching through downtown to protest racial injustice and demands for a more equitable future. People walking into State Farm Arena and Mercedes-Benz Stadium and leaving with an I voted sticker. And of course, the piles of flowers, notes, and tributes at the base of the John Lewis mural on Auburn Avenue. I believe Congressman Lewis's legacy can be summed up in 4 words: courage, humility, humor, and resolve. We miss him dearly, but these words continue to motivate us and so many others. May those qualities be the ones we carry into the year ahead. Until next time, stay healthy, get vaccinated when it's your turn, and see you soon downtown.